Greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Sorcerer Tal. You can also find me on Facebook in the Sorcerers Guild. Today on Sorcery Self-Defense, we are going to be discussing some general energy exercises that you can do to produce energy flow, as well as how to create an energy ball from the gut. Now, in previous videos, I have discussed directed energy work and energy flow starting from the heart chakra. In these videos, we will actually be pulling energy from the belly. In fact, we will not be thinking of the belly as a chakra, rather we will be thinking of it simply as our belly, because this is where the primal urges flow. I personally prefer not to refine it down to a chakra, but simply allow that primal base gut energy to expand. At the same time, we will be activating our crown chakra to form astral cords down to our body and create a form of detachment from the energy radiating from the gut. Okay, so in previous videos, like I said, we started in the center. This one will be starting in the gut. I want you to imagine your gut, bright yellow energy. It is driving, it is fire, it hungers. It is the raw destruction. Allow it to rise up from the belly like fire. It doesn't flow gently like the heart chakra. No, it rises from the belly like a rage and enters full into the body. Later on, this will be where we begin the tongue writing to help pull this energy into us. For now, we're not going to be getting into that. You want to simply allow that flame to rise from the belly and into the hands. Now, as it rises from the hands, or as it rises up, you want to also then imagine that your brain awakens. It is a clear white blue energy. It awakens and forms up, drawing a cord from the top of the head up to the higher self. And then, once reaching there, shoots down other cords that come down into the hand and onto the knees, like a marionette. So those are our visualizations. Fire from the belly, and as the fire rises, it awakens the brain. The brain puts its cord up to the higher self, and the higher self puts its cords down and attaches to the body. We do not find the balance in our core like in Tai Chi. The balance comes from above. We are not balanced. We are free-flowing. We are loose. And just put your legs out like that. It's easier to stand, but we are loose. We're on strings, like a marionette, like Pinocchio, before he was a real boy. Just allow it to be. Imagine yourself pulling on those strings. Let everything get good and loose. Good and loose. Okay, now take those strings and pull your hands forward. There you go, like that. Wave them back and forth a few times. As they come in, reach your hands out. As they go back, point them towards each other. Spread, point. Spread, point. Okay, now Allow that fire back in. Make sure you're visualizing that fire coming into the hands. Put that fire forward towards the hands. Don't quite touch. As close as you can without touching, you'll begin to feel the resistance. At this point, don't bother so much with the pointing the fingers back and spreading them out like this. Just a little bit of that. Put them as close as you can and you'll feel the resistance just before they touch. Kind of like if you're putting two magnets to each other. So wave them forward, and as soon as they hit that, let the strings pull them back. Remember, you're not controlling your hands from your arms. You're controlling them from the strings above. So, do this a few times. Get feeling that resistance. And then after you do, I want you to imagine that you're packing it in, pulling away. Packing it in and pulling away. Packing it in and pulling away. Almost like you're adding snow to a snowball. Just pack it in, pull away. Pack it in, pull away. Like you're condensing energy in the center here. Just keep imagining more and more of that yellow energy forming in the center like fire. Push in, pull away. Push in, pull away. Once you have a filling of energy in front of you, you then imagine it as a ball and begin moving that ball around. You still keep adding the yellow energy from the hands, but you imagine it now, this little red and yellow ball pushing, expanding, condensing. Now, there are a lot of forms of martial arts that they're using this ball here, this force, to create impact, to break boards, stuff like that. I'm sure you've seen the videos of people break into boards, stuff like that. We are not actually looking for impact force here. We are looking for muscle recognition, muscle memory. Sorry, we've talked about it in previous videos. So what we're doing, so once we've got that energy, that fire in, we let it go back through the hands. Anytime the hands come together, you want to imagine that ball reforming, coming apart. The reason we do the ball is to begin training our body for that muscle memory. So we have the ball. We want to learn to keep the ball. I'm sure many of you my age remember in the rave scene, this used to be a big thing, to go and dance the energy balls. People would pretend to throw them back and forth. It's the same thing you're doing here, but you're pulling it from the belly. You're keeping your hands on strings. Okay, so we got the energy ball, got it made. Go ahead and, like I said, open the hands up, let the energy ball out. Just imagine yourself in flames, red and yellows. The energy of fire coming from deep within the belly. This is the first step towards achieving the frenzy gnosis. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about that muscle memory. I said we've got these strings we're pulling each other on. So now we want to start getting faster. Once we've learned motions, you can go ahead and study whatever martial art you want, but I suggest that you learn figure 8 type motions. So we learn to move the body like this. Circulars. You want to learn to circle one arm like this. Of course, that's easy, but then what you want to do is add the other one and get to where you can create an X in the center without your two arms hitting. So, can go like this. It's probably easier to start. You'll see how the arms are making an X over the front. They're not actually hitting. We can go slower at first, of course. This is a simple defensive pattern. It is not anything, obviously too significant, but we want to be able to get our body to where it hits into this pattern quickly. So once we have our body memorized into this shape, we then see how fast we can get our arms moving in this manner without hitting. As I said, the point here is speed rather than force. We want to get our body used to being as fast as it can in movements that do not harm the body. So we want to start out slow with these motions. And then learn to move them faster. Now, like I said, we're mostly doing exercises at this point. I mean, it is kind of a defensive posture to throw your hands up like an X like this. But what we are really getting at here is generating more of that fire energy. Okay, so now that you've swung your hands around, acted all crazy, got your heart pumping, let's try that again with the energy ball. Feel the difference in the resistance, especially in the draw back. You actually start drawing your hands back at this point. They start wanting to pull together until they get real close. The more you do the quick energy, moving your hands quickly like this, make you look kind of crazy, the more energy actually gets pulled into the hands, because we're not looking for a spiritual force here. When we draw from the heart chakra, we are creating a spiritual force for charging spell work. Even sometimes with our healing work, we are starting from the heart chakra. When we start from the belly, we are drawing upon the energy released by eating, by their stomach acid breaking apart animal fats, plant proteins, the actual taking of life. That is the energy released from that is what is charging this fire. The fire from the belly is literally a metaphor for the acid in your stomach breaking apart matter and pulling out the life force and energy inside to fuel the body. So you're likely to find yourself quite hungry once you have finished this exercise. But this is not to be a calm Tai Chi thing. It can be. We want to start out that way. But as you progress, you want to move faster. Because we want two things out of this. To achieve frenzienosis, which is not calm, and we also want to create fast muscle memory so that once we have learned to move in these ways with the strings and the fire from the belly, we can then strike extremely fast. Okay, so that will be it for this video. Thank you once again for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take the opportunity to do so now. Until then, bright blessings and an interesting fate. This has been Sorcerer Tal.